My name's Galdina Jimenez. I'm an OPI design team artist, and I am from Oceanside, California. I'm in my salon suite studio today and here with Marlo Beauty Supply. I'm so honored to be here. It's my first time going live with Marlo. So thank you, Marlo Beauty Supply, for having me today, and also OPI Professionals. So today I'm here to share with you some really fun nail art, super simple, user-friendly nail art using OPI GelColor and some fun nail art tools and supplies. But yeah, so a lot of the things you see that I'm going to be sharing with you today, you will be able to purchase from marlosupply.com. So if you see something you like, go ahead and put that in your cart and make those purchases. That, you know, if you also have supplies near you and want to follow along, I'm just going to be showing some nail art on some swatches, so you can follow along, grab your brushes, gel colors, and yeah, we could totally have some fun. But anyways, how is everyone today? Let me know where you are tuning in from. I would love to know. Like I said, I'm from Oceanside, California, and let me know where you're tuning in from. All right. Fun, fun, fun. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and flip my camera around and show you guys what we're gonna be doing today. Ontario, Canada. Nail Art by Sig is watching from Los Angeles. So Nail Art by Sig is actually OPI's North American education manager, and she is going to be on today answering any questions that I can't get to. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them either in the comments or in the question box, and she'll be responding as much as possible. I'll be responding as much as possible as well, but I really want to show you guys the fun nail art I have to share with you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and flip my camera now. Okay, whoops. There we go. There's a little delay, so. Okay, let me set you guys up. All right. How is that looking? Let me just get my lighting set and all my fun stuff. So these are the looks I'm going to be sharing with you today. And I'm so excited to share with you our newest collection, Hollywood. So I'll be using some of these colors today, but these are available on marlobeautysupply.com. So you can purchase the collection or each in gel color, and that's what I will be sharing with you guys today. But yeah, super fun. So this is our spring 2021 collection, Hollywood. And if you didn't know, this year, 2021, it is 40 years that OPI has been around. So it is OPI's 40th anniversary. So happy anniversary to OPI. And in celebration for this year's collection, for this spring collection, we've brought it back home to Hollywood, where OPI was born. So let me just share with you a few of, or actually the collection. So we have 12 colors. The first color we have is this nice smoky blue, destined to be a legend. This really fun, this is a perfect spring green, rated PG. This lovely pastel-y yellow, behind the scenes. This lovely red, and I find I'm loving this red against my own skin tone, but Emmy, have you seen Oscar? And this lovely shimmery pink, 15 minutes of flame. Hollywood and Vibe, a nice pastel pink. One of my favorites, Movie Buff, a nice pale pink. Susie calls the Paparazzi. Got a couple cute mauves in here, like I'm an Extra. And Oh You Sing, Dance, Act, and Produce. It's like a nice purpley periwinkle, almost like a pastel-y indigo. And I'm loving this jelly blue shade. Award for the best nails goes to. So there you have it. This is the Hollywood Collection. And I did swatch all these in gel color. So this is what the gel color swatches are going to look like. What do you guys think of these? Drop some hearts if you like them, or some palm trees if you're loving the Hollywood Collection. Let me know what you guys think of these colors. Rachel's Nails Glam says, yes, my favorite is Movie Buff. That is definitely, I'm a pale pink girl. I love pale pink, so that is definitely my color as well. All right, so in order to make the nail art pop under the camera, I am going to be wearing some gloves today. So if you're wondering why I'm going to be putting on gloves, that's why. And I'm going to be using swatches. So Marlo was kind enough to give me these swatches. So I just kind of broke them off and put them on these little pedestal chest piece things. And perfect for swatching nail art, which I totally recommend doing if you work in a salon and want to showcase the nail art that you're able to do. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I've already prepped my swatch here. Now, I just want you all to understand the step-by-steps I'm showing you today are just kind of guidelines. So of course, if you're doing this on a real client, you're going to definitely want to start out with your prep. Of course, you want to be having your clients wash their hands. So OPI's blue liquid hand soap is perfect for that. And if you don't happen to have the hand soap around, I totally recommend using Swiss Hand Guard as well. So of course, clean is cute, especially in the circumstances that we are in today. You definitely want to be cleaning your hands before starting with your clients. Now, the prep steps that I'm going to be showing you today are also available on OPI.com. And also, if you download our OPI education app, you're going to be able to see how to properly prep the nails in order to get the best out of your gel manicure. And 1 second here. I'm just going to go ahead and add in the comments what our show is about today. All right, and it's not letting me. Oh, well. Okay, so I was just going to share with you guys what our demo is going to be about. But as you know, it's going to be about Hollywood, our Hollywood collection, and Hollywood-inspired nail art. Okay, so of course, after prepping, you'd want to add 1 coat of Bond Aid, and this is a pH balancing agent. This is definitely a need if you are going to be doing a gel manicure. Next off, we are going to be using a base coat. So if you haven't seen it already, OPI's got 2 gel color base coats now. So we originally had this as our base coat, as our gel color base coat. And if you are familiar with this, you're gonna be very familiar with this one right here, which is our gel color Stay Classic. So our base coat got a new packaging. So it's the same great formula with new packaging and just a different name. So we have Stay Classic Base Coat instead of this packaging and this name right here. So same great formula, just different packaging. But we also have this right here, which is OPI GelColor Stay Strong. So this is our new formulated gel color base coat, and it is going to give you 3+ weeks of wear. So this gives you 2+ weeks of wear, and this is going to give you a little bit longer. Now, the difference between the two is definitely the longer wear, but also the formulation. I'm going to show you real quick the difference in the formulation. The viscosity is going to be a bit different. And for our Stay Classic base coat, you're going to see that the formulation is a little bit thinner. And we also still have that pearl wide brush, which is perfect for that 3-stroke application. Rachel's Nail Glam says, I'm going to have to get the Stay Strong one. So Rachel, I've actually been using this on all my GelColor clients, and I absolutely am loving the longer wear they're getting. And the removal isn't that much more, that much longer. You're going to have a few minutes longer for removal. And you can just see the viscosity is a little bit thicker. And because of that, we've redesigned the brush for this formulation with a shorter brush for that perfect product pickup and proper placement. And it's going to give you just a little bit more strength on your natural gel manicures and give you a little bit longer lasting manicure. So this you're going to use for your clients who already have nice, healthy, strong nails. And this is going to be for someone who has like thin peeling nails or anything like that. But definitely both have their good properties, and one isn't better than the other, I would say. I use both in my salon, and I'll tell you why. So the first application I'm going to show you is going to be with our Stay Classic. Now, I love using Stay Classic for enhancement because the viscosity is much thinner. And because I do a lot of enhancements in my salon. So using this on enhancements, as you can see, the application goes nice and smooth and thin and evenly. So it's not going to add bulk. And that's perfect for when you're doing your acrylic sets or hard gel sets, anything like that. And the cure time is 30 seconds in the OPI LED light. We also have the textured grip handle, so for easy opening and closing. But yeah, so I definitely use both in my salon, so I recommend having both on hand. One, like I said, one isn't going to be better than the other. They're both going to have their own benefits for sure. All right, so for the first look today, I'm going to show you guys how to do this fun glitter ombre. And the color I'm using today from our Hollywood collection is 15 Minutes of Flame. So after curing my base coat for 30 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and apply a thin coat of 15 Minutes of Flame. And I'm just going to apply a nice even coat to the entire nail. Of course, if this was on a client, you want to make sure that you aren't getting it on the skin or anything like that. And you want it to be nice and even. Go ahead and cure that for 30 seconds in the dual cure light. So one thing I want to call out is if you are noticing, if you notice separation within the formula, you're going to want to make sure that you are shaking your bottles for at least 1 minute before use. And this is going to ensure a nice mixture of the ingredients so that you aren't having any service breakdown. All right, once that's done curing, I'm going to go ahead and apply another coat. All right, so that is done curing. And you can see the opacity is a little bit thin, but that's okay because I'm going to add a second coat and it's going to add a little bit more opacity. This can definitely be used as a jelly color, which I'm loving jelly colors right now, you guys. Layering and doing nail art with jellies is so much fun. So I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds in the dual cure light. Hi, Regina. So thank you all for tuning in today. I've been so excited about this live. It's 5 o'clock over here in California. Like I said before, I'd like to know where you're at. If you're a licensed professional and where you do nails at, I'd love to know. Go ahead and leave that in the comments. All right, once that's done cured, the next step is to use some sort of glitter. So I have a holographic glitter here, and it is a cosmetic grade glitter. You want to make sure that you are using a cosmetic grade glitter, and this is a loose glitter. So I'm going to be using a cosmetic application brush just like this one to apply my glitter to my nail. So the idea is to create that ombre, and because I have an inhibition layer here, it's going to stick to my nail and let me do that glitter ombre. So I'm going to tap, tap, tap right at the cuticle area. Now, if this were to be on a client with skin, of course you want to be careful getting it in between where the skin meets the nail. So I'm just going to simply tap. I'm going to brush off the excess and just lightly tap down and let it rain down. So tap, 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 concentrating at the cuticle area. Now, you don't have to do this in the cuticle area. You can actually, if you wanted to do it more of a French ombre, so let's say this was the tip of the nail, you could do that as well. But I like, for this one, I'm going to show you as if it were the cuticle area of the nail. So one call I want to make is when you are using loose glitter, you can see how some of the glitter does stick up. You want to make sure that you are pressing all that down. So I'm going to use the cleaner side of my application brush and just simply press all that down. Because if you don't, you're going to get chipping problems, and you don't want your client to come back with any problems like that. So I'm actually going to use my glove now. I don't recommend doing this with your naked finger. I have gloves on, so I'm able to use my gloves, but I'm pressing down. You could use like a silicone stick if you wanted to do that as well, if you didn't have gloves on. But I'm pressing that down and just making sure that they're nice and flat and even. So here's a pro tip of mine. So this is an extra gel color top coat, and I went ahead and marked it with some glitter. And I actually have two top coats, one for glitter and like nail art, like stuff that I know is going to spread into my formulation, and just my regular top coat without that I don't use for any nail art or anything like that. And that's really important because I'm going to actually, because it's loose glitter, you can pick up pieces of glitter and it's going to contaminate your top coat bottle. And you don't want to be transferring any of that to a nail that doesn't have glitter. Your client probably won't like that. All right, so I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds in the dual cure light. And once that's done curing, I'm actually going to get an Expert Touch lint-free wipe. So that's these right here. And these are perfect for cleaning when you are doing nail art, because you don't have that extra fuzz left over. And also some NES 99. So NES 99, if you aren't familiar with it, is 99% isopropyl alcohol. And this is perfect for cleansing off that nail. Miss Sledge 90s asking me, what is my favorite color? Great question. So my favorite color is actually Let's Be Friends from the Hello Kitty collection. All right, so I've wiped off that inhibition layer, and what you're left with is your cute ombre glitter look. Now I am gonna add one more coat of top coat. So as well as our base coats, our top coat also got a makeover. So this is OPI's GelColor Stay Shiny top coat. Same great formula as our OPI GelColor top coat, but new packaging. So there's nothing different other than the packaging with our Stay Shiny top coat. So don't get it twisted, you guys. Same great product. We just gave it a little makeover. Why not? New decade, new top coat bottle. And I'm applying another top coat. And that's just to make sure that I don't have any of those little glitters poking out and causing my top coat to chip or break down. So I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds in the dual cure light. All right, so here I have my table towels, and because I have glitter right here, I'm actually just gonna remove my table towel, which is perfect for easy cleanup. So if you are doing nail art and using all kinds of powders and glitters and stuff, totally recommend your OPI Expert Touch lint-free table towels for that. And once again, I'm gonna get an Expert Touch lint-free wipe and some NES 99 and remove that inhibition layer. And there you have it. That is our first look. Super simple. Anyone can do this. I totally want to see everyone using this, especially for Valentine's Day. Why not? All right, speaking of Valentine's Day, here is my second look. So this is inspired by like Hollywood Glam. So we got like the red carpet, we got some cheetah print. I just thought it was fun and cute and definitely Hollywood. All right, so for this look, I'm going to be using Hollywood and Vibe, no other than Hollywood and Vibe as my base color. I'm also using an OPI Iconic color, which is You Don't Know Jacques, and another OPI Iconic color, which is Black Onyx, and also from our Hollywood collection, I'm Really an Actress, which plays it's a spin-off off of I'm Really a Waitress, if you are all familiar with that. So if you can see here, look how pretty, pretty, pretty all those shimmers and glitters are. That is definitely my second favorite, I would say, from our collection. So that is considered our hero shade. Okay, so on this nail, I'm actually going to show you how to use our GelColor Stay Strong base coat. So our Stay Strong base coat, like I said, has a shorter brush and because of the thicker viscosity. So in order to apply this properly, you want to utilize the shorter brush by using a burnishing motion. So burnishing, basically, I'm rubbing it into the nail plate and doing smaller, shorter strokes. I still want it to be nice and even. So you want to make sure that you are burnishing in and smoothing it out. And you don't want to make it too thick. You want to make it nice, thin, and even, just like every gel color step. I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds in the dual cure light. While that's curing, let me see if I can answer some questions. It's kind of hard for me to see with my little screeny thing up. All right, so far I don't see many questions, but if you guys have any questions, I'm trying to answer them as much as possible. And also have, like I said, I have Sigourney Nunez here, Nail Art by Sig, answering as many questions as possible. And all right, now that that's done curing, oops, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my first coat of color, which is Hollywood and Vibe. So Hollywood and Vibe looks a lot like, I want to say it's like a shade lighter of like Mod About You. Really pretty pastel pink. I feel like this is going to be everyone's go-to baby pink for this season for sure. So I'm going to apply a nice thin even coat and cure that for 30 seconds in the dual cure light. So I want to apply 2 coats of color. So Rachel Nails Glam is asking, how do you like the brush on the base gel? Rachel, I'm really liking the brush. Now, I would say if we had the Pro Wide brush in the Stay Strong, because it's thicker, I honestly think that it would be harder to apply. So having this shorter brush makes it so much easier to apply this formula because it's thicker. Now for our Stay Classic base coat, we have the Pro Wide brush, which is what we're known for. And the Pro Wide brush works best for the viscosity in this, which is much thinner. So, and the reason why it's thinner is because we have less solvents in this, or more solvents in this to gel, and we have more gel in this to solvent, which is why it's thicker. That was a great question. And that's just my professional opinion. I haven't tried the formula with a longer brush, so I can't tell you, but just from working with both formulas and both brushes, I can see why the thinner brush, or the shorter brush rather, was chosen. All right, I'm gonna apply a second coat of Hollywood and Vibe and cure that for 30 seconds. All right. Gelled Nail by Allison is asking, so this is the pink I'm doing, Hollywood and Vibe. And this is from our, obviously, the Hollywood collection. All right, next color I'm going to be using is You Don't Know Jacques, which is this nice brown color. And this is going to, I'm going to create the inside of my cheetah prints with this. Now I'm wiping off as much as I can my brush, and all our gel colors have pro wide brushes as well. And I'm wiping off the excess because now I'm going to use this brush to create the inside of my cheetah prints. And I like using the pro wide brush. You can use an art brush or dotting tool here, but I just like the natural look, the corner. So I have my brush like this and I flipped it, so notice it's flatter on one side, and I'm just using the corner. Now I'm creating cheetah print, or sorry, leopard print, and just putting little sporadic spots throughout the nail. Now notice I did create my heart shape, so I'm trying my best to frame out that heart shape where I'm going to be adding my heart tip. Now this would look great on, let's say, a stiletto or an almond nail, but it still looks cute even on this round nail. You still have that heart look. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this bottle up. And next, I'm going to be using black onyx. So I'm just gonna be using a palette here, and I'm gonna apply a small dollop of black onyx onto my palette. And then I'm gonna get a dotting tool. So you wanna use a dotting tool like this, and you can find these on Marlo Beauty Supply as well. So I'm gonna be using my dotting tool. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of product, and now that my nail's cured, I'm going to create my leopard print spots. So I'm framing wherever I had placed my leopard print spots at first. And you don't need much product here. I'm gonna tap off excess and just simply go around my leopard print spots to create more of that two-tone look. And notice it's pretty sloppy, but that's what you want to do. I'm not a big fan of like perfect circular leopard print shapes, or yeah, leopard print or cheetah print shapes. I like that like natural look. I feel like it makes it look more authentic. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and cure that for 30 seconds in the dual cure light. And just use an Expert Touch lint-free wipe to cleanse off my dotting tool. All right, next is adding our top coat. So I'm gonna use a Stay Shiny top coat for this. I'm gonna move my palette out of the way. And once that's done cured, I'm gonna apply one thin coat of Stay Shiny top coat. How is everyone doing out there? I hope you're enjoying these looks. If you've just joined, this is the second look that I've done so far. So my name's Galdini Jimenez. I'm an OPI design team artist, and Marlo Beauty Supply and OPI professionals let me come on here today to share with you some really fun Hollywood inspired nail art designs using OPI's Hollywood collection and also some of OPI's iconic colors using GelColor. So GelColor is actually a professional system. So if you are wanting to purchase these, Marlo Beauty Supply is a professional supply store. So you know you're going to get real authentic OPI professional products. That's really, really important. And I can't stress it enough to people whenever they are deciding to buy gel color. You want to make sure that you are buying it from a reputable company and making sure you're getting the real deal. So I've saturated an Expert Touch lint-free wipe with some NES 99. And I'm going to remove that inhibition layer. So this would be like your last step if you were doing your gel manicure, right? You top coat and then you remove that inhibition layer. Next, I'm not done yet because we still have to add our design. So I'm going to be using today, I'm really an actress. And I'm going to use the brush from the bottle, the Pro Wide brush, and create my heart. And I'm just going to add 1, 2. And if you don't feel comfortable using the Pro Wide brush, you could easily totally use a nail art brush in this step, which I think I'm going to do just to make it even. So I'm going to add some to a palette. I'm just gonna add a little dollop right here and go in with a nail art detail brush. I've got this one right here, and I'm just simply going to swirl my brush around in my gel color and saturate my brush, and then go in and define my heart shape. So this brush right here you can find on Marlo Beauty Supply's website. It's a nice detail brush for sure. Gives me that little bit of extra precision that I need to create my heart shape. So now you would think, okay, it's time to cure, but it is not time to cure just yet. So I'm going to be using today some clear polymer powder, which is just basically acrylic powder, you guys. So using some sort of acrylic powder or polymer powder, whether it's acrylic or dip, making sure that it is clear. I'm going to sprinkle that over to give it a sugared effect. And using the clear, it's still going to let my color pop through. But once I'm done sugaring that, tap off the excess, and I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds in the OPI Dual Cure Light. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this up. So notice I did use 2 cups. That's because I don't want to dip the nail into the package where the packaging is or anything like that. I'm just using that as a pouring system and keeping it nice and clean. All right, so that is gonna be curing for 60 seconds. And I'm going to go ahead and look to see if we have any questions here. All right. So if you guys have any questions on the step-by-steps that I'm doing, go ahead and leave them in the comment box and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. All right, once that's done curing, you can go ahead and either dust that off. I'm actually going to use an Expert Touch lint-free wipe and some NES 99, and I'm going to remove that. So Miss Sledges, do you have any tips on removal? So Miss Sledge, yes. So if you're having problems with removal, I recommend using a your like an OPI 180 edge file and just simply removing the top coat layer and filing off that free edge before soaking off and soaking off your gel. And that's going to help it's going to give you a little bit extra time, a little bit quicker removal if you're having trouble with removal. And patience. You have to have patience in order for the removal. All right, so there you have it. This is my cheetah print kind of like red carpet look. And that is using a sugaring method. Any tips on keeping matte coat matte? Yes, so I found in order to make sure my matte top coat is stain matte, I actually shake it for 2 minutes. I find the formulation does tend to separate, not necessarily separate, but if I'm not shaking it enough, I'm not getting that full matte effect whenever I am using my gel color matte top coat. That was a great question. All right, now for my third look. So this one was kind of like inspired by, you know, Hollywood stars, Walk of Fame. We got a little bit of our pink marble sky with some black stars. I decided to use the black stars so you can see the contrast, and the color I'm using for that one today is Movie Buff. So today I'm using Movie Buff, and also from our winter collection, Naughty or Ice, and also some Alpine Snow, which I have right over here. So in order to get this look, you want to make sure that you are, of course, prepping the nail and applying your base coat. I'm not going to apply base coat on this one because I already showed you guys how to do that. It's not necessary with the swatches, but in order to do that, you want to cure your base coat for 30 seconds and then continue on with your first coat of Movie Buff. So I'm applying my first coat, nice thin even coat to the entire nail. And notice I am doing quite a few strokes just because I want it to be nice and even. I find that the pale pinks do tend to be a little bit streaky. So doing a few coats and then letting it level out right before you cure it helps prevent the streakiness from happening. All right, so as that's curing, I'm gonna go ahead and grab Naughty or Ice and also Alpine Snow. So in order to use Alpine Snow, I'm gonna do a dollop on my palette and get my nail art brush. So I've applied a dollop right there, and then also a dollop of Naughty or Ice. All right, and then I'm gonna use a marbling tool actually. So a marbling tool basically is just a dotting tool. So I'm gonna use this one right here. So this one actually doesn't have a ball at the end. It's kind of more of like a point, but I'm gonna be using that today to create my marble effect. All right, so I'm gonna use one more coat of Movie Buff and apply it nice and evenly to the entire nail. But I'm not going to cure it just yet. So to create this marble, we're going to do a wet on wet. So Latina Barbie's asking, will we be able to watch this again? Yes. I'm actually going to be saving this IGTV to Marlo's channel, so you'll be able to see it on their IGTV. So I'm going to make a Y using my marbling tool, and then with Naughty and Ice, I'm going to actually just follow that Y and go down almost the opposite side. And these colors blend super easily together. So this is wet on wet technique, and just kind of tapping around and swirling around in the same direction and following it down. And I'm going to cure this because now that my marble is done, cure for 30 seconds. Super, super simple. Wet on wet technique, so easy to do. Noteworthy Nail says, I'm dying over Movie Buff. Yes, this is definitely my favorite out of the collection. This cute pale pink color. I want to say it's like a tone darker than like Mod About You, but a tone darker, than Let's Be Friends, but lighter than Mod About You. A nice in-between pale pink color. A little bit more pinker than Lisbon Wants More OPI as well. So definitely unique in its own, that lovely, lovely pale pink. All right, so now that is done curing, I'm actually gonna remove that inhibition layer because the next step is to do some detail. So the stars that I created are actually I would say, detail and a little bit intermediate. So I'm going to use an Expert Touch lint-free wipe and some NAS 99. And I'm going to remove that inhibition layer because I don't want it to run anymore. So we used the wet on wet technique to create the marble because we wanted it to run. But because I don't want it to run with trying to add detail, I'm going to actually remove that inhibition layer. And it's going to make my lines nicer and crisper. So I'm just using an Expert Touch lint-free wipe, no NES 99 here, and just cleansing off the product that I had on my nail art brush at first. And I already have some black Onyx placed on my palette right here. And I'm going to actually add a dot using my nail art brush. So I'm just going to swirl it around a little bit just to get the product around. And I'm going to start off with one dot. And you want to make sure that the dot is exactly where you want it. And this is going to be the center of our star. And this one's going to be, I want to say, small to medium size. Now I'm going to brush off the excess on my palette. Move my palette aside so I don't make a mess. And I'm going to start creating my 5-point star. Now the idea with the 5-point star, I'm using the very, very tip, and this brush is very fine. So the very tip on brush, almost like a pencil, and I'm going to drag out the 5 points. So this is the head of the star. And then you want it to be, this is where your geometry is gonna take place. So you want it to be nice and even and geometrically correct. So I've dragged out my 5 points, and now I'm just going to use the tip of my brush to perfect it. All right, so in order to perfect it, I'm going to imagine drawing a straight line this way and just connecting. And I have not picked up any more product. I'm just using what's on my brush and what I've already placed. And that's really, really important because you don't want to be flooding what you've already done. And I'm just turning and turning. Now, of course, if this was on a client, you would turn their hands in different positions, but not around in a 360 like I just did. But you get the idea. You can turn their hand upside down if necessary. But the idea is to make it nice and even. And I'm just literally just dragging and dragging and dragging until I'm happy with my look. And I'm going to go ahead and cure that. Now you can simply flash cure here so you can get started. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more of black onyx with my nail art brush, and I'm going to place a smaller star diagonally. Oops, come here, guy. All right. So Rachel's Nail Glam says, I have such a hard time drawing these stars. Oh, I hope this does help you out, Rachel. I find that drawing perfect stars is really, really difficult. So I'm going to do a smaller dot right there. And because this is going to be a different size. So it really matters the size of your dot. Now I'm going to remove the excess off. So I'm just simply twirling my brush. I haven't picked up any more. I'm just twirling that around. And I'm going to now start on with my next smaller 5-point star. And as you can see, this brush point is very, very fine. So you really want to be using a fine nail art brush. It's really important that you're using a good fine nail art brush. And simply add your 5 points. So there's 2. I'm going to flip it around and go straight across. So like I'm making like a T right here. And then almost like an X for the bottom. And once I have my 5 points placed, then I'll start, then I will start perfecting it. So I am going to pick up a little bit more gel color onto my brush, just because I feel like I wiped off a little bit too much. And simply straighten that out. Straighten my lines out. So notice I'm going like straight across. So I'm going straight across this way. As I turn it around, I'm going to go straight across this way. And see how there's that open gap right there? I'm going to go straight across this way. And your star might start to grow. That's why when you are doing different sizes, you want to make sure that you are starting really, really small, because your stars will grow as you start to connect and connect and connect, which is totally fine. But if you are trying to make a smaller star, of course, you want to start with a really, really small dot. I'm just going to go ahead and simply drag the rest of that one out. And I think that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and cure that. While that's curing, I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my art brush. And I'm not going to be using, so in order to clean my nail art brush, because I'm using GelColor, I'm not using any NAS 99. This is just a dry Expert Touch lint-free wipe. That's really, really important to preserve your GelColor nail art brushes. Don't use anything to cleanse it off other than the dry wipe. Okay. So Miss Sledge says, what do you charge for this type of application? So honestly, I charge by my time and also by my expertise, I would say. So after perfecting this, it really depends on your demographics. Some people charge like $1 a minute, let's say. If you feel very confident with your technique and your applications, I would go ahead and charge more. But definitely time is money. All right, once that's completely cured, go ahead and top coat that with your Stay Shiny top coat and cure for 30 seconds in the dual cure light. Now, I did notice that one was a little bit sheer than my last one. You could definitely go over if you wanted to add some more opacity with a second coat of black Onyx. Just being careful to stay inside the line. So this is where your kindergarten coloring techniques are gonna play a role. All right, so now for this last sugared technique. So this is like a black velvety nail using OPI's iconic black Onyx. And of course, I'm not going to be showing you the base coat anymore. I'm just going to simply go into the design. Actually, I'm sorry. I am actually going to show you the base coat, because we need the base coat in order to do this. So I'm going to apply one thin coat, and this one you have to use Stay Classic because you need that thinner, the thinner application. And this is actually going to act as a transfer. So I've applied my base coat to the entire nail and cure for 30 seconds in the dual cure light. And next, I'm going to get some gold transfer foil. Now, you could use any color here, but I've decided to go along with gold. And the reason why I'm using gold, because I feel like it's super, super Hollywood. Let me get my scissors. So I'm just going to cut off a little bit of my transfer foil. And this is just nail art foil you can get almost anywhere. And I'm simply going to transfer it to the cuff. So you can use this as, let's say, the cuff, or you can use it as the French tip. I'm feeling cuffs are fancier. You can do French tip if you wanted though too. So I've applied my transfer foil, and you could see I just pressed it around where I wanted it. If I were to press on the whole nail, it probably would have transferred the whole thing. But honestly, I just wanted to focus right on top right here. So that's exactly where I placed it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and top coat this with my Stay Shiny top coat. And apply it to the entire nail. And I already have the base coat right there, so this is going to be perfectly fine, the top coat over the base coat. And I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds in the OPI LED light. And once that's done curing, I'm going to get an Expert Touch lint-free wipe and some NAS 99. And I'm going to remove that inhibition layer. So once I remove the inhibition layer, the nail would, I guess, pretty much be done if you were to think of it like that. So I'm going to remove that inhibition layer. once that's done curing. All right, so there it is right here. And let that cool off for a second. Now I'm going to remove that inhibition layer from my Stay Shiny top coat. And what you're left is with a basically foiled nail. Now, I'm not done yet. We still need to do our velvet. So I'm going to be using black onyx today. Of course, you could use any color for this, but I decided to use black onyx because I thought it was super sleek and sexy, and definitely if you were going to Hollywood, you would want some fancy nails like this. So I'm simply going to apply a coat over my top coat, and I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds. Now, if you didn't feel comfortable applying that, you could definitely use a nail art brush to create that half moon. But I did want to, you want to make it as perfect as possible. So like that, I guess that half moon smile line. If I turn it this way, it looks like a French nail, huh? So either way, this is cuffed if you have it towards the cuticle, and this is French if you have it at the tip. Either way is fine. Like I said, these are just guidelines for you guys. You can do whatever your heart desires when doing nail art. So please don't take every step that I'm showing you today very seriously. You could definitely add your own twists and make it your own. All right, so that is one coat of black onyx cured, and now I'm going to add a second coat of black onyx. And this time I'm not going to cure it just yet. I'm going to go ahead and get that polymer powder that I had earlier, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now, when you are using your acrylic or polymer, whatever powder, you want to make sure you are using a clear. So this is a clear acrylic powder. And I'm just simply going to pour this over my entire nail. Now, because I already wiped off that inhibition layer, I shouldn't have any problems with it sticking to where my gold foil is at. And now I'm going to simply cure that for 60 seconds in the dual cure light. And pour the rest in here and cover that up. Now, if this was with a client, I would just toss that out. But because I'm using it on a swatch today, I'm not worried about it. But once that's done curing, you'd want to go ahead and brush off the excess. So I'm just going to get a cleanup brush. And here I have my cleanup brush, my disinfectable cleanup brush. And I'm also going to use an Expert Touch lint-free wipe and some NAS 99 after dusting off to make sure to get rid of that. All right, now that that's done curing, I'm going to go ahead and dust off the excess. And just to make sure there's nothing left on the nail or skin, I'm just going to use an Expert Touch lint-free wipe and some NAS 99, and it's going to evaporate, so it'll get matted again. But yeah, there you have it. That is the final look. So let me pull out all the looks that I've done today. You could say I kind of had a theme, right? Pink. Pink and black and some sparkle. But yeah, so these are the looks I had. So this is going to be saved to Marlo's IGTV. If you guys missed any of the beginning, you can go back and rewatch it. Noteworthy is asking, silly question, but why do you cure for 60 seconds instead of 30? So I cure for 60 seconds instead of 30. I think it's just for peace of mind to make sure that the light has penetrated all throughout the gel color. And because I'm using a polymer, like acrylic powder, I want to make sure that it's completely cured and we've created that hardness. All right, so I hope you all enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, like I said, you guys can always follow me and DM me on Instagram at NailLuscious. Don't forget to follow OPI Professionals for more videos and tutorials like this. And also go to OPI.com for all our step-by-steps and other videos. And don't forget to, share this with your friends as well. And I hope to see you guys again. I had so much fun sharing these with you today. I'm so sorry. I wish I could have answered your questions a little bit more frequently, but trying to focus on teaching you guys these fun looks using OPI's Hollywood collection. But yeah, thank you all for coming today, and we will see you all next time.